What's up, fight fans? Let's dive right into today's news. Here's what's going down. Strickland reacts to suspension, fires shot at Khamzat Chimaev. Former UFC champ Strickland has been suspended 6 months and fined $5,000 for storming the cage and attacking a fighter at a Toughen Up event in June. Strickland says he's ready to put this to bed and will take an anger management course to shorten the ban, but he didn't hold back when addressing Khamzat Chimaev, calling him a twist and insisting he can't be champion. Posting on Instagram, Strickland captioned, "Well, ready to put this to bed and get back in the cage. Can't have a twist as a champion. Sadly, I think I'm the only one to change that. Appreciate the commission for getting this done. Anger management, here I come." Bryan signs with Dirty Boxing after UFC release. Just days after being released from the UFC for repeated weight misses, tough winner Bryan "The Butcher" Battle has signed with Dirty Boxing and will make his debut at DBX3 in Miami. Battle leaves the UFC with a 7-1 1-C record and 2 Performance of the Night bonuses, and now looks to make a fresh start in bare-knuckle MMA-style competition. DBX3 will also feature Jairzinho Rozenstruik in the main event. Dirty Boxing posted this on Instagram with a caption, "Bryan has signed with Dirty Boxing for a fight at 185 pounds. Fresh off his run in the UFC, Battle is making his next move, stepping into the DBX ring at Dirty Boxing 3 on August 29th in Miami, Florida. A new chapter begins, and it's going to be violent." Askren criticizes Conor McGregor's new sparring footage. Conor McGregor recently faced criticism after a training video surfaced showing him landing heavy shots on young sparring partners in Italy. Former Bellator and ONE champ Askren called the footage so dumb, questioning what hitting inexperienced fighters proves. Despite the backlash, McGregor says he's preparing for his BKFC debut and believes bare-knuckle fighting is more exciting than UFC, doubling down on his emphasis on aggressive ground and pound. Fans remain divided over his training approach and upcoming combat plans. Reacting to the video, Askren wrote on X, "What does beating up fighters who aren't good prove or do to make you better? These videos are so dumb." What do you think of Conor's new sparring footage? Frankie Edgar explains why he's coming out of retirement for BKFC. UFC legend Frankie Edgar says the gritty appeal of bare-knuckle fighting and BKFC hosting an event in his home state of New Jersey convinced him to end his 3-year retirement. Edgar explained that he's always been a fighter at heart and was intrigued by the raw nature of BKFC, calling it the fightiest of all combat sports. During the BKFC 82 press conference, Edgar said,
"As soon as I saw this sport, I was very intrigued. I'm a fighter. You know, this is definitely probably the fightiest of all combat sports." You know what I mean? And I had to try it out, and why not do it here? I mean, I said I'd never fight again. Here I am. So who's gonna take me for my word, really? You know what I mean? Let's see how this first one goes, and we'll take it from there.
Herb Dean backs Marc Goddard's stand-ups in Chimaev versus du Plessis. Referee Herb Dean has defended Marc Goddard's controversial stand-ups during Khamzat Chimaev's dominant UFC 319 win over Dricus du Plessis. While many fighters criticized the decisions, Dean argued that dominant positions shouldn't just be used to stall, saying stand-ups encourage risk-taking and finishing attempts. Despite the breaks, Chimaev controlled the fight with 12 takedowns and cruised to a unanimous decision victory. Speaking to Helen Yee, Dean said,
"I don't think there was anything wrong with his stand-ups. Khamzat dominated the fight round, but I think, and it's, this is an ongoing conversation that everyone in the stakeholders and everyone in the sport has, but what do we want this sport to look like? Do we want people to achieve a dominant position, which, if you're not using it to beat your opponent, could almost be looked at as a hiding place, as a place to burn time? And I'm never going to accuse Khamzat of hiding, because, the man's a savage. But if you get a position, like we can break that one down, the crucifix, chest-to-chest position, not a lot of height, very difficult to get a place where you can punch your opponent. Sometimes he's able to get elbows. And you want to reward people. We can talk about 10-8s and that at the same time. You want to reward someone with a 10-8 for trying to finish their opponent, for taking a risk. It takes a risk to make some space, to posture, where you're going to be able to maybe finish the fight. And I think that's what we want our sport to look like. And so I'm okay with those stand-ups that Marc Goddard did.
What do you think of Herb Dean's opinion? John Jones claps back at Daniel Cormier again. Jon Jones responded once more to longtime rival Daniel Cormier after DC joked that Jones lives rent-free in his head.
And he always get mad at me. He gonna be on me now if it is. Oh, I live. The other day he said he lived rent-free in my house, in my brain or something like that. I'm like, man, shut up. I don't care about you.
On Instagram, Jones fired back, "I didn't say I lived at your house, even though I could if I really wanted to. I built a mansion in your head rent-free." The ongoing feud shows no signs of slowing as both legends continue trading barbs years after their last UFC clash. Fans concerned after Ortega looks weak at UFC Shanghai weigh-in. Bryan Ortega and Aljamain Sterling will meet at UFC Shanghai in a 153-pound catchweight bout after Ortega reportedly struggled with the featherweight cut. Both fighters hit the scale at 153 pounds, and UFC recently shared the ceremonial weigh-in on Instagram, where Ortega appeared visibly weak during the face-off. Fans immediately lashed out at Dana White and the UFC, questioning Ortega's health and whether the fight should proceed. "He can barely walk. Why are they allowing this? Dude, Ortega can't even walk." I know that feeling for the ones wondering why he's walking like that. That's from not having fat and water in his feet. He cut a ton of weight, so walking hurts with bare minimal cushion. Love Bryan, but this shit should get canceled. If he really did hit his head and pass out, this fight should not be happening. Dog, he can't walk. Please, UFC, don't let him fight. What do you think? Should Ortega be fighting this Saturday? That's all for today's news. Thanks for watching. If you like our content, don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to not miss daily MMA news from us.